Well, a very warm welcome to the 2025, our first edition of our market wrap for 2025. Happy New Year. Let's get stuck into what happened over January. Now, it typically is a little bit of a quieter time for real estate agents. A lot of agents go away, they come back after Australia Day, and then they get into their campaigns for February and March. Following Australia Day, we have been busy. We have a lot of vendors that have chosen to come back a little bit earlier, mid-January, and said, look, you know what, we're ready to rock and roll. We see an opportunity in the market, which I'll touch on a little bit later, to upsize potentially in this market and buy something that is of greater value. Now let's talk about Melbourne. Property prices were stagnant. In fact, they even retracted just a little bit in January, 0.8%. The year on year last year, there was a negative 3.84% growth in Melbourne. Every other national city and regional state across Australia went up in value throughout 2024, if you can believe it. So it brings me to my next point. If you're watching these videos and you think is now the right time to be doing something, this is a moment in time where they are talking about rates potentially coming down, whether it's in February, March or April. It's almost imminent that it's likely to happen. This is a moment in time where if you were thinking about potentially pulling the trigger on something and buying that investment property or even potentially upsizing the family home, this is the time to be doing it. I genuinely believe in the next 12 to 18 to 24 months, people that buy now, they're courageous enough to do it. They will be looking back in hindsight saying, you know what, we're wrapped that we did it then. Now, to give you a wrap up as to the sales that happened in January, it is a quieter month, as I mentioned earlier. Our office did about 10 deals in January. We have plenty of forthcoming auctions in February and March. I think we've got about 50 or 60 for both February and March. So we are heading into a very busy selling season despite multiple long weekends over March and April. But the top two sales for the month were a property that passed in at the end of last year, number 56 Whitmuir Road in McKinnon. A very big block of land, and that property sold after auction for 2.2 million. And second, but last but not least, number 2A Bayview Street in Elsternwick. Now, it's a really cool story with this one. This property was on the market for 2.5 months with another agent prior to Christmas. They had an asking price of $1,895,000, and the best offer that they presented to my vendor was 1.8 million. I said to the vendor, look, we need a refresh, give it to us, new energy, new agent, new approach. We managed to sell that property in 7 days for $1,900,000, which was $5,000 more than what the property was previously asking with the previous agent. I'd like to finish on that topic. Your choice of agent is very important. You put the same buyer in front of different agents, they will not get you the same money, particularly now in this market where negotiations are happening more and more. You need a good negotiator. If you are planning on doing anything in the next 6 to 12 months, feel free to reach out, and I'll see you next month in February.